Wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up!
Get up.
You get out of bed this instant.
And turn it on. Glenn, Angel, and the Flying Dutchman. The Big Show on Kiss 92.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to Thursday and welcome to Happy at Work Thursday with the one and only Adrian Chu from Korea Agility International. Good morning, Adrian.
Good morning, Glenn, and good morning to all our Kiss 92 listeners out there. It's amazing to be here. Every Thursday morning, it's just so fun to be here. Awesome with you guys.
And time really flies, right? I mean, it feels like you were just here yesterday.
Yeah. It does.
Yeah,
That's-
which means we
Giving
are all
out
getting
bad career advice.
Oh,
Yeah, last week was bad career advice.
true.
Yeah,
But this week we're talking about whether we are more Asian or Western in our work styles.
Yeah, and that's really interesting because I always thought, Singapore being smack in the middle of Asia, that we would be Asian. There was a study that was conducted by Randstad, and they interviewed participants across the globe with regards to work attitudes. And surprisingly, Singapore came out very un-Asian. So today I thought it might be interesting to explore the questions which they ask, and then we're going to find out why is it so? What are some of the possible reasons why we are more westernized than our Asian counterparts? And what does it mean for Singapore as a whole?
But what do you think, Adrian?
I think we've evolved. I think we have become more westernized. And I think we started early because Singapore is one of the few countries that westernized very early. The MNCs came in the 80s. 70s and 80s, in fact. And as a result, we had a very easy open door policy for foreigners to come in as well from the 70s and 80s and 90s. So there was a good transfer of knowledge and technology in a way, and management style and all these positive things coming in from all corners of the world.
Right.
So I think Singapore has come a long way, but we've got a long way to go as well.
So are we saying that the Western way is the more positive way?
It depends on the flavor of the month, because it was a point in time where the Japanese way was the most positive way. You got Kanban, you got all those methods, and then it fell out of favor. And then the Western ways, I remember in the 2000-ish there was the Six Sigma and everything, all those processes, and then it just fell out of favor now as well. So I think it's a good
trends.
mix. It's just trends, but being exposed to all these puts us at a very big competitive advantage with regards to the other economies in the region with regards to talent. So I think it's a good sign. But I'm just very tickled by the way that we're just not un-Asian. We are really off the scale, totally off the scale, aligned more with Australia, with the US.
Right.
But we also have that ability, I feel. We're very Western. You may be American or Australian. But at the end of the day, when we have to deal with someone within Asia, we can become Asian again.
That's right.
We have that talent,
Yeah.
and I think that's part of our success.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Tell you what, let's continue to talk to Adrian on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Gracie Abrams with Risk on Kiss 92.
I'd like to say good morning to Rose, who's listening to us from the Philippines.
Good morning, Rose.
What should we say? Mabuhay.
Mabuhay.
Yep.
Good morning.
So one of the interesting questions that was asked was, who is responsible for advancing the worker's career? The company or self? And for us, we all know the answer, itself, right?
Yeah, itself.
Yeah.
Really? Not the
Itself, yeah.
company?
No.
Well, according to the survey, only 1 in 10 Singaporeans believe that their career is influenced by the employer more than themselves. Only 1 in 10. Employer. I was going to say employee.
Yeah.
Employer.
So only how many percent?
1 in
1 in
10.
10.
1 in 10 Singaporeans.
Really?
So 10%.
So they're
Yeah.
saying that, it's all up to them, is it?
Yeah.
Mostly up to
Yeah.
them, yes.
And it's interesting because when you compare that to China, 68% of workers in China said they were relying on the employers.
Employers.
But then again, I think that's a communist thing. So
Yeah, it's a bit different.
But then
That's a
Japan
throwback.
also was 63.
Yeah.
63%, so quite high. Singapore was only 10%.
And interestingly,
It's super low.
Hong Kong is 51%, one out of two. So it's how I said, it's very strange because the results align us more towards the Western countries. So like Australia, the US, and everything. So it's just amazing how far adrift. I mean, you look at it, it's 10% versus 51%. That's how close.
I
it is.
wonder what it was like for Hong Kong before.
Yeah,
1997,
before,
you know?
yes, before the Chinese
Before
takeover.
that, yeah.
I
Because
tend
it
to-
might have been higher.
Yeah.
I tend to also believe
lower.
that it's the employer that helps to advance the individual. Because I mean, the employee has to basically, in terms of mindset and in terms of working styles and stuff like that, has to be in tune or aligned with the company's principles and stuff like that. But people who feel like, okay, they can do a great job and stuff like that, yeah, well and good. But if they don't work properly with the powers that be, then it's also very hard.
You're saying it takes two to tango.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
like 50-50.
Exactly. You can go on and do your own thing, be the best worker in the world and all that. Don't
you
see
have
eye
a
to eye
crap,
with with your superiors and all that. You won't go anywhere.
But does that also mean that 1 in 10 Singaporeans believe that their career... Okay, so the 90% believe that it's all up to them
Yeah, only
Yeah.
10%
to make their career.
Yeah.
Yeah, only 10% believe in relying on a company to manage their career, advance their career for them. So I think one of the implications of this is that for the 90%, like what you mentioned, there has to be alignment with the company and everything. But what these folks, if they feel there's no alignment, because they believe that they are in charge of their own destiny, they just quit
They
and join another
leave.
company.
But it would be great if they had broken down that 10% and seen what the numbers are within that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Glenn would say, okay, it's 50% responsibility of the employee and 50% responsibility of the employer. Some would say it's 100% the
Correct,
employer or
correct.
the other way around. So
Yeah.
it would have been cool if they broke that down even further.
It'll be too complex for my tiny
Yeah.
brain.
Yeah.
I cannot.
I think we've all worked with many people who just
Yeah.
felt like everything was to their credit.
Yeah.
And they've not gone very far.
Or everything is to be blamed on somebody else.
Correct.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the polar opposites.
Because
right?
I wanted to do it my way, but then
Nobody
somebody
wanted to
else said
listen.
do it this other way, and so that's the attitude for some people.
Yeah.
But I also suspect that the numbers reflect perhaps might be a post-COVID, post-retrenchment world. Everyone's being retrenched left, right, and center. So people in Singapore especially are realizing that I cannot count on my company to advance my career. I have to do it on my own, and therefore they are a bit more robust in a way in their thinking. But I'm just puzzled because Malaysia and everything, they're still very far behind in terms of this study.
These countries that are further behind, I want to go back to something we talked about a long time ago. Where does loyalty stand in their structure? Because we know in our structure there is no loyalty.
Yeah.
Not from employer, not from employee.
Singapore structure, you're
The
saying?
Singapore structure. There is no loyalty. I go where the money is, I go where the expansion is.
No, I agree.
There
I
is
agree.
no
Some
loyalty.
a lot of people would just move on for an extra
Yeah.
$100 a month or something like
Exactly.
that. They would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Both ways, right?
But
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
these countries where 68% say it's up to the company, is there more loyalty in those countries than we have?
In fact, I want to take that a step further. Besides loyalty, my HR friends all tell me that Singapore is the easiest place to fire somebody without cause.
See?
I mean, they say you try fire someone in Korea. Good luck. The guy's gonna sit in your office for 18 months and not do anything. You can't fire him even.
That's why there's no loyalty
The
here.
government,
Doesn't
they're very
allow it.
pro worker. They're very pro worker. Singapore is pro business, which is what I like.
Yeah.
A bit too pro business sometimes.
Mm.
But you try fire someone in Germany. So
Yeah.
I once had
Yeah.
this client flying in from Europe, and he asked me a question. He said, of course I was looking for people for him when I was in hunting, and he asked me, he said, how difficult is it to fire someone in Singapore? Because I have 3 people in my UK office. I want to let them go, but the unions are strong. The people. I said, in Singapore it's easy. You just pay them whatever's in the contract. Bye bye.
So it's good being an employer and not an employee here.
In a way, maybe that's why it reflects that like what FD was saying in terms of the loyalty. So it cuts both ways, lah. So I think.
But it does, because employers also will drop someone for a cheaper $100 person, cheaper by
Absolutely.
$100 person,
Yeah.
and the workers will move for an extra $100 somewhere else.
Yeah,
It's both ways.
So I think that's it's a free market economy in a way. So it cuts both ways. So I think it's good that Singaporeans feel that 9 out of 10 feel that they are in control of their destiny. I think that's really important. The bigger question is, do they know how to manage their destiny? How do they manage their career with the strategy and everything? So that's another whole can of worms which they need to look at.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Wow.
It's interesting.
I didn't expect the figure to be...
So extreme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way off the scale. I was reading, I was like, really? So it's good. And I think oh god. Okay.
Hang on.
Okay.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the AYE towards the MCE before the Clementi Avenue 6 exit, a vehicle has broken down. Also on the KJE towards the PIE, right before the exit to the PIE Changi, an accident has been reported. As you go through your day, please be safe.
We're back on The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our first guest for today is Adrian Chu from Korea Agility International. He is the CEO and founder. Welcome, Adrian.
Always happy to be here. And today we're talking about an article that was published, and the article says that are Singaporean workers more Asian, or are they more... They use the word here Anglo-Saxon, which I think is just a politically correct word of saying Angmo.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's Anglo-Saxon. I did a search on what Anglo-Saxon is, and it's the original British and the Celts, and I think it's just to Anglo-Saxon is. I mean, Americans aren't Anglo-Saxon, so they call them Caucasians. Caucasians are like.
It's still
It's
a
from the
very
Caucasian.
loose
It's
term
just
these days.
FD.
Yeah.
I'm Eurasian and proud of it.
Because according to this article, what does Asian even mean? Because the continent is huge, right? Technically, if you think about it, the Arabs and the Turks are also Asian,
Asians,
the Mongolians, the
Yeah,
Japanese,
correct,
the Chinese. So we're like Southeast Asians, East Asians.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm thinking about FD once again. He says, "Oh yeah, I'm Eurasian." It's like proudly,
Yeah.
I'm Eurasian. Actually,
Where's your Asian?
yeah. Where's your Asian?
My mum's side.
What? Wait, what's your mom?
My mum's family originates from Malacca.
Yeah, but what was she?
But that's just a country. What's the ethnicity?
Was she white?
No, my mum was Eurasian already. She was mixed.
Oh,
But where was her
and
Asian?
my dad's family, remember, is mixed with what was then Ceylonese, which is now Sri
Sri Lankan, yeah. That's
were
same
they
as-
both white?
No.
Because you're white.
No.
White as snow.
It's like my mom's dad was Ceylonese as well, Sri
Yeah.
Lankan, and he was a lot darker skinned than
Yeah.
my grandmother, who
Yeah.
was Indonesian Dutch.
Yeah.
So my mom came out really fair, and her brother came out really dark.
Yeah.
Right.
So they got a little bit of both. And your siblings?
My brother was darker than I am. No, I mean not dark, but darker than I am.
Oh, okay.
So the Asian is the Ceylonese.
The Ceylonese, there's I'm pretty sure there's a bit of Malay and Peranakan in mom's side as well. So
We're talking skin color now at great
Yes,
length.
I know it's terrible.
In detail.
Yeah.
No,
well, but it is what
makes
it
no
is. Yeah.
Makes no difference. Stefan has come on our
You
Facebook
started
page.
it.
Yeah. Stefan has come on our Facebook page and says it's no surprise to me since our education system is heavily based on Western ideals.
Is it really?
Is it?
I think it is, and I think the bigger influence is American TV, MTV. We grew up
I
on
think
MTV.
it's the TV, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the
Watching all that
TV, the
stuff, so we are
magazines back in the day as well.
Yeah.
The cartoons, all the cartoons that we watch. I'm very comfortable, by the way, if anyone wants to know. I've
Yeah,
put my
us.
microphone on my
Yeah, exactly.
on my thighs.
It's fine.
I was wondering.
Yeah.
It's like a
I don't
little-
feel like sitting forward.
A
So
little
it's
acupressure there on
like
that
a little desk.
on
yeah.
that part of your.
I think I might get a
your
tray,
thigh.
you know?
But then again, a lot of many Singaporeans are being educated abroad
Yes.
these days.
That's
That
true.
could be
as well.
another reason.
right?
Yeah.
That's true.
But I feel it's the magazines, the music,
Yeah.
the fashion,
Yeah.
the TV, the
We-
movies,
We've always looked at the West and said, better than us. We want to be like them.
land
No.
of opportunities.
Yeah.
Maybe you said that.
In the
No,
old
come on.
days.
In
I
the
was
olden
always
days.
China.
No, you were not.
No,
Not
you're
back in the
not.
not when you were growing up. No.
When we were growing up, the West was always what we looked for.
Yeah.
We looked to there, and okay, that's what is normal.
The
That
trends
is what
came
is
from
right.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you look now, where are the trends coming from? Korea.
Korea.
Korea and
It's
China.
China.
Korea.
It's changing.
All right. I think Cheyenne is about to throw something at us.
Okay. All right.
right.
All right. It's 8:16.
Kiss 92 Time Check brought to you by Putian.
Okay. Yeah, so...
and speaking about when we were growing up, we looked towards the West. And I remember there was this, very recently, a couple of years back, there was this cartoon, this meme. And it showed an Asian parent talking to the young child who didn't want to eat his food. He said, "You better finish up your meal. There are kids starving in America."
Oh,
in the old
America.
days, in the old days, it would be India,
Africa.
in China,
Ethiopia.
Japan, or in Japan. Yeah. So it used to be the parents saying to the kids, "The kids starving in China."
Yeah.
But now it's a kid starving in America. So it's sad, but it's true. It's the nature of the world today. But I know the other second thing which was interesting.
But when Trump becomes president, everyone will be better.
Make America great again.
America will be great again. I'll wear my MAGA hat the next time. But anyway, the other thing that's interesting was the study is that who should motivate the worker, the employer or the employee? And of course, we all know the answer. It should be us. We should be motivating ourselves.
I say it's both.
I love it when the employer motivates. Like my company motivates me.
But you can only do so much to motivate.
Yeah.
If the person is unmotivated, they're never gonna move forward.
It's got to be
You know
both.
what I mean? It's got to be both.
It's teamwork.
A receiver and a giver.
Yeah.
It's got to be both.
I agree.
Reciprocal. Yeah.
I agree.
I don't know. I have a stronger view on I think we should motivate ourselves, because maybe it's the entrepreneur in me that's saying that. But I know if I look at my kids, I'm not gonna sit down and keep giving you candy and stars just to
Like no one's gonna make your life happen,
you're gonna
right?
do on your own. But what is really
You got to be disciplined.
yeah, I like that.
Discipline.
And-
I think
and
discipline is
hardworking.
more
And
important
hardworking.
than motivation.
Yes, you have to, and that's interesting, because on a separate note, I was once asked how important are grades to when you're selecting a candidate for a job. And for me, my answer is a bit atypical. I say that I don't care about the grades that much, but oftentimes good grades as an indication of the guy was hardworking, the guy was disciplined to study, he was a go-getter. A bit unfair of me to say this, because sometimes some people bloom later than others. But if the person has got very good consistent grades, to me it shows that there is a
There are
drive.
possibilities. Yeah.
And in the same way, if he has been even if his grades weren't good, but he had something consistent, like for instance, if he was a sportsman, that shows the drive, the commitment to a goal which he has achieved. So I think, to your point, discipline is very important. Anything that you do.
But I feel like what Glenn said, discipline and motivation are two very, very different things. Because you can be very hardworking and disciplined, but have absolutely no passion for what you're doing.
No.
And that's where the motivation comes from.
No, when you're disciplined, it means you do something even when you don't feel like
exactly.
it.
That's why I'm saying
Exactly.
there's no passion.
There's no
There
passion,
may
but
not be
you'll still do
passion
it,
in
but
there.
you'll still do
But you
it.
do it for the grades. Like for say,
Right.
you
Exactly.
you may get up to all your A stars and all that, but you absolutely detest the academic side of it. But you have to.
You have to do it.
especially in Asia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Right, the old tiger mom and all. But then I feel like motivation is that drive that comes from passion. To do something that
But
you
it's-
like.
But it's hard actually because if you just talk about motivation, I mean you just think about
But that's where the
us on a daily
entrepreneurship
basis,
comes
right?
from, right?
It's like how often are we motivated? You're not motivated all the time.
No, not
You know
all
what I mean?
the time.
You
So
never
if there's no if you're motivated and there's discipline as well, okay, well and good,
Yeah.
right? But if you're ill-disciplined and you just depend on being motivated,
No, of course
No.
not. You can't depend on either. I feel like everything
Motivation
needs to
comes
be a
with a degree
balance,
of it.
right?
So if you use this horrible example of mine, going to the gym,
oh, there you go.
is that discipline or motivation?
There you go.
It's
you
a
see?
discipline.
So
That's
you
a
have to be
discipline.
disciplined.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm unmotivated on most days.
But
Yeah.
are you motivated to look great and fit into your clothes, wonderfully? Then that would be a combination of both, right?
do both, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, it's oftentimes it's the lack of discipline.
Lack of
And,
discipline.
even though the gym is just downstairs from my place. So I read someone said that the way to instill discipline is what she said was put on your shoes. Put on your shoes.
The rest will come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to
Yeah.
go to the gym, you don't feel like just get up, just one step. You put on your shoes, and then you're out the door already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that first one. So even if you want to say start a business or you want to do something that's scary or adventurous, put on your shoes. That first little action commits you into
Driving
breaks
forward,
the momentum
Yeah.
of breaks the inertia of staying put. So I thought that was interesting. Put on your shoes.
Put on your shoes. I like that.
I think it was Barbara Cochran who said that. She was the Shark Tank, one of the Shark Tank.
Oh, Barbara.
So if anyone is feeling unmotivated today,
Put on your
shoes. Because that's the first step. Even Natalie Dowd, she's
Yes,
always saying
take that first
what
step.
motivates her to run every day is that she gets all her clothes ready for the next day, so she has no excuse. It's all by the door.
yeah.
You know, so you put all your gym gear on or whatever it is and go out the door, which is the same as put on
That
your
wouldn't
shoes.
be enough actually for me. You just put the clothes on. I need to put it on the
Yeah,
night
of
before.
course. Wake up with it. Like shoes, everything around.
Correct.
We've got a comment on our Facebook page that says, I'm not exactly motivated to head to work every day, but I'm motivated to give my family a better life every day.
But you're disciplined to wake up every day.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
discipline. Like for us, we have the discipline plus the drive and the motivation, but not every day do we feel that as well.
Yeah,
But we feel the
we're
discipline.
disciplined to wake up.
To wake up,
and do
yes.
it.
For the show every
The
day.
discipline is there, yeah.
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 So what was interesting about this is that, back to the question about who should motivate the worker, only 5% of the local respondents put the responsibility on the employer. So in
that's
other words,
very little.
95% feeling that no, it's on us. Only 5% say. And once again, we are a severe outlier compared to the rest. And if you see, it's quite fascinating. We're next to Austria, New Zealand, Australia, UK. Whereas on the other end of the spectrum is China, Japan. Yeah. So
But that's a good thing that 5% think that the employers are responsible for, what was the...
Motivating you.
Is it for motive? No.
this is motivating the worker.
Motivating the worker, which is good because they're taking accountability and taking
Yeah.
things into their own hands.
Yeah, so we're
Right?
self-driven. So I think that augurs well for Singapore as a workforce because a lot of times you can train the workforce, but it's the internal operating system.
Yeah.
So we are quite driven.
Do you think we've always been like this? Do you think we've always been more Western than Asian? As in, through the years, through our different leaders, for example, like when Mr. Lee Kuan Yew was in charge, you know, what were we then? Were we more Asian? Were we more Western? Or do you think we were always Western because Mr. Lee was educated, you
In the
know,
UK.
in the UK?
I would say that we being a product of a British colony, I think we've always had it in us to do it. So I think the original OS operating system was probably already there.
Okay.
So I think it was just laid a very good groundwork.
But yet I feel we're still quite conservative if you compare us to our beliefs.
We are conservative
You
in the
know?
way we live.
And also because
Yeah.
we're a
Yeah.
multiracial society, so
Yeah.
everything has to be, you know, considered
Yeah.
very carefully.
Yeah. But I want to go back to that motivation. You know why I think only 5% say it's the employer?
Why?
Because I think 95% have grown up with a generation of parents who have said to them, learn to stand on your own 2 feet. You are going to do it. Nobody's going to help you.
But which generation is this? This is a recent study, isn't
Yeah,
it?
so I think it's across the board. But I
Okay.
agree.
No,
I
but
think-
you're talking to people. I'm talking about their parents have told them this is on you
I'm
because
not
their parents discovered that no one's going to help you. You're going to do it.
I don't know because
Unless your father is the Flying Dutchman.
because
No,
I feel
because I told my kids that. I said, don't think anybody's going to help you.
Yeah, lah, but then
I
this
feel like
guy,
a lot of
his,
kids
his
these
daughters
days-
will always be his little girl.
I feel like a lot of kids these days are handed stuff by their parents, though. So it depends on the age group here.
It's true.
You
It's
know?
true. And I'm wondering how well these numbers will
Yeah,
hold.
like
right?
which generation
I
they're
think, I
talking,
think those people are in their 20s,
which should be more
mid-twenties.
the.
mid-20s. They weren't handed as much.
Parents spoil their kids, lah.
Yeah,
please.
exactly, that's
you
what
talking
I'm
about
saying.
The kids who are in their 20s?
The
Even
mid-twenties.
more so, they're
Yes,
spoiled.
exactly.
Yeah.
I would say early 20s and teens are more spoiled than the mid-20s.
You know,
late 20s.
speaking of which, so funny story. My wife is a tutor, and she once went to this rich kid's home, and she teaches science, and she was talking about fruits and reproduction in plants, and she said, your mango has a big seed in it, and the kid stares at it and go, you mean that mango has a seed? Because
Yes.
it's always the meat coming for it.
Oh my
There's a
goodness.
seed in a mango? It's so
That is
funny.
so... Well, yeah.
That's what I
it's
mean.
True. It's like in the UK, they've done studies where they think chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Okay, stand by. Traffic coming up.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Okay, I don't mean to take up all of your morning, but I need to let you know about 5 accidents that are happening across the island, or that have been reported at least.
Sure, take your time. We all have our coffee
Yeah,
right
there
now.
you go. Hope everyone's okay. On the KJE towards the PIE before the PIE Changi exit. Accident number 1. On the SLE towards the CTE before the Woodlands Avenue 12 exit, avoid the rightmost lane. Accident number 2. On the SLE towards the CTE before the TPE exit, yet another accident with congestion to Lentor Avenue's exit. Avoid lane 3 if you're heading down that stretch. Also on the PIE towards the airport before Jalan Eunos, also a backup onto Paya Lebar Road. Avoid lane 1 if you're in that mess. Another accident there. And finally on the PIE towards Tuas at the Adam Road entrance, accident number 5. If you have any updates, please update us 885550
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Coming up after Adrian, because today we have an extended Big Show TV show. We'll be introducing Sarah Fox to everyone. Now, Sarah Fox is the Vice President and Regional General Manager for Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun.
She's got a lot of exciting news for us. But right now, we are with the CEO and founder at Korea Agility International, Mr. Adrian Chu. Morning once again, Adrian.
Oh, lovely to be here. And once again, we were talking about whether or not a Singaporean worker is more Asian in terms of the thinking and behaviors, or more westernized. And this latest study that was done by Randstad says that we are more Ang Mo.
I say
Western.
Western.
except during lunchtime. We're more Asian.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, oh my goodness. It's like at breakfast, people are already saying, "Oh, what should we have for lunch?" And before lunch is even had, "What are you having for dinner?"
How do you know the Westerners are not like that?
I don't think so. No, I don't
they're
think
not.
so.
They're
No,
not.
they're not.
Because you think they're all vegan, is it?
No,
And
I never.
vegetarian?
I'm not small-minded.
No, I tell you what.
I think they're just as
I don't think so.
enthusiastic
No, I'm talking about
food as us.
Singaporeans. No, I don't
I
think
agree
so.
with Angel. Singaporeans, when it comes to food, we're very Asian.
They
you know
take
why?
it very seriously.
Yeah, and not only that, we go to a food court and we start chopping seeds.
Shopping seats.
Yeah, and not just that. You see lunchtime, right? Okay, lunch hour is really lunch hour. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
12 o'clock to 1 o'clock or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you see everyone go out in droves, which happens all over the world as well. But we take our food very, very seriously here in Singapore, especially.
Because we've got so much food and so
Exactly.
much variety.
Yeah.
So some of our Western friends who have come down to Singapore to work are now becoming very much like us.
Foodies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, foodies.
Yeah, that's true.
And I had an American friend who came over, and when he first came to Singapore, he was complaining about the chop culture, how we would chop and reserve tables, and he was saying that's very rude. That's not courteous at all. No, it's very
That's because he couldn't get a table.
yeah. But 2 months later, he told me that's the most efficient system actually.
Isn't it? Yeah,
You just
it is.
get the seat, and then you go get your food. You come back.
Yeah.
If you learn to respect the system, it actually works.
It does.
Yeah,
it
it
I was
does.
laughing away. I was going like, yeah, welcome. You've just become a bit more Singaporean.
And he was from where?
from the
America.
US.
From
And
the
I-
US. So
and
he's
I-
now
Yeah.
doing
So yeah,
this.
he's got his own little tissue paper pack which he starts chopping seeds.
But it doesn't say chop, it says this is reserved.
I've seen people use the weirdest things to reserve
Umbrellas,
seats. Umbrellas,
phones.
spectacles. I once saw this guy who put his dentures there.
Oh, God.
And
cool.
you know what?
No way.
He had a whole table to himself. So no one wanted to take the table after that. So.
You just have to buy it from one of those trick shops, right? You just put it on the table.
You dentures
Yeah,
on the
that's what you
table.
Yeah, he had a whole table to himself. Nobody wanted to sit near someone who would reserve a seat with his dentures.
When you say dentures, you actually mean dentures and not just like the Invisalign
No,
that
no,
people
not-
use
not the
these days.
retainer,
They
the
have to-
actual-
Not the
retainer.
retainer.
That's right.
So,
The actual teeth.
yeah.
The
Oh,
actual
that's bad,
teeth.
right.
Yeah, so that worked for him. Brilliant.
Yuck,
Should-
yuck,
we,
yuck.
should, we should carry one set around. What do you say?
Yeah, get it from the joke shop.
But today, one of the questions that was asked in that study was who is responsible for your work-life balance? Your boss or yourself? The countries that said that it was your boss was China, Japan, Hong Kong, and these people, very high percentages, all said that the boss should be responsible. Singaporeans, right at the bottom. It's huge. Only 9% of the workers are looking at their bosses.
Wow.
To take the lead with regards to work-life balance.
This I agree. I think it's up to us.
Yeah.
To know when to stop working and when to, just go and play.
But what if your boss told you had to
Yeah.
do projects that are going to keep you in the office late and stuff like that? Do you just tell your boss, no, I'm sorry, I finish at 5 and that's it. I need to go home.
But I
and
don't think the
be with
majority
my
of bosses
family."
here in Singapore do that anymore.
Do
So
they?
I
I
think
don't
I
know.
think that's been an improvement over the years in that sense.
I think so too. And because of the choice of jobs that you can move to, I think bosses are also realizing that don't push my guys too hard, otherwise they're going to just walk.
It's a conversation that needs to be had.
True.
That's all it is.
True.
Work-life balance is a conversation that needs to be had.
With yourself.
And your boss.
No, I just said the bosses. I mean, if the bosses are fine, if you're in a company
Yeah.
Then
that is
you-
not really pushing you, there are a lot of Singaporeans who are like workaholics. They'll just
Work and work.
take
and
on
work.
more,
Yeah.
for themselves for whatever reason. Maybe
Yeah.
they don't want to go home to their families. Anyway, Kyle is next. This is Father Time on Kiss 92.
I used to be so careless when my father's time.
Like, I wouldn't want to work in events, let's say, because that is something that's going to take up a lot of your time.
Weekends especially.
You know what I mean?
There's no
There's no
time,
choice.
There's no time structure.
Yeah, if the company is
Yeah.
doing well and has
there's no
many
time.
projects, then what to do?
You do
Late
what has to be
nights,
done.
early mornings, long days,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
weekends.
you get the workaholics in that industry because of the money. It's a commissionable industry, right?
Yeah.
So they do it because of the money, because the harder you work, sometimes that money can get pretty obscene. It can get very big. So they do it for the money, quite honestly. And
And it
for
depends
most-
on the role you're in.
yeah,
as
and for
well.
most of them, they're lucky. Their families understand that this is not something that's going to go on forever. He's going to do it now and build the bank.
Yeah.
You know?
These are the minions that have
And
to
these are
work.
these need to be the smart ones if they build their bank. You
Yes,
know what
if
I
they build
mean?
their bank,
Because
yeah.
not a lot of people have financial
Yeah.
knowledge about how
Yeah.
to stash their money
Yeah,
and stuff like
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it's nice, and I think that like what you said, work-life balance is a conversation you need to have with yourself and with the boss.
And with the boss.
But I also believe that work-life balance is a decision you have to make as well. You got to commit to. I mean, if you realize that you're working too hard, or
Yeah.
if your kids are, you're missing your kids, or your kids are missing you, then you have to make that difficult call to say that, okay, look, I need to cut back, boss, or this job is really too much traveling. I need to either cut back or I need to find another job that maybe. So it's a decision. The problem is that a lot of people feel that they don't have control.
they don't have a say.
They don't have a say.
Because I feel like just what you said, you have to tell your boss that you have to cut back. A lot of people won't do it because they think the answer is straight away no.
Yeah.
I mean, you won't know until you ask, right?
They lose their jobs, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The
So they're just
conversation starts with you.
So they're just like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to keep quiet. I'm just going to do it. It doesn't matter if I get home late or anything. I have to do it because no one else will.
Yeah. And sometimes it's voluntary, subconsciously voluntary. It sounds horrible, but sometimes you can knock off at 6. But you just want to tweak that deck for
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or for next week, and then you just spend an extra hour there, and then you suddenly, I think must change the font size. And after that, it's like 10 o'clock already, and then you realize, where did the time go? So sometimes
A couple of months ago, I was in an office. We were doing a meeting for an event, and we finished at 6. The whole office was supposed to be empty, right? Boss walks out. We were with the managing director. Boss walks out with us, and he sees people at the desks, and he literally stops at each desk and goes, "It's time for you to go home.
Oh, that's
Go
wonderful.
home.
That's wonderful.
Go home." But it's exactly what you were saying.
It was the
I
employees that were
I just
staying
want
behind.
to tweak this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then when you tweak a little more, you tweak more. And then it's 7 o'clock.
Because they don't want
Yeah.
to take it home, maybe,
Yeah.
or they have deadlines, maybe, or maybe they were overrunning on their deadline, or they pushed their project all the way to that
perhaps.
very edge.
Yeah.
But
So-
when you have a boss like that, that says you go home, go home. You know you're actually in a good place.
Yes.
And
for
for
sure.
everyone who has stayed back, they have their reasons for staying back.
Yeah,
And I think
exactly.
it's because they're unhappy in certain areas of their
Oh,
lives.
they didn't manage their time.
It's
Like,
true.
yeah, it could be.
That's
Yeah.
true,
Could be.
because if you are happy, if you've got someone you're
You wanna
dying
go
to go
home
back
to,
home
yeah.
to, you'd get out of the office as early as
This is
possible.
true.
You're absolutely right.
This is
You know what I
true.
mean? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Excuses to stay behind.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for those of you watching, if you've been making excuses, to stay back at work, maybe you should do something about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Fix something. Something
Yes.
needs fixing.
Something's wrong
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
So what else did the numbers show us?
So I think, in general, I was very surprised. I mean, I always knew that we were more Western and Asian, but I didn't realize how westernized, how Western aligned we are compared to the Asians.
Work-wise,
Work-wise,
yeah.
it's just amazing. Just swung all the way to the other end.
Good balance though. Work-wise, we're like Western, and then everything else we're Asian.
Asian.
You know what I mean? Our choice of
I-
foods,
But I
our
think it's
way
very
of life.
confusing. It's very confusing when people come here initially.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
they work with you this way, and then when they meet you outside of work, whoa,
Yeah.
what happened to that guy I knew in the office? It is very confusing, and it can cause problems.
Well, it's a culture. They just got to people just got to assimilate, right?
Actually, you're right. No, when I was in university, we had exchange students coming from Canada and the US, and they were stunned by how hardworking the Singaporean students were. And how hard we partied after. They were like,
Yeah.
You're right. So they took a bit of time to adjust. I said, it's just weird.
Work hard, party hard.
Work hard, party hard. So the big question is now, why are we Western? Why are, in terms of our work values, so Western? How is it we know about the control of work-life balance, the control of our own destiny?
How?
And I think it's because a lot of them listen to Kiss 92 FM.
You can say that again when we go on air as well. Yeah.
Very important.
So
that
they've
one.
been learning from us how to manage their careers and everything. So I think that's
On Thursday mornings,
on Thursday
maybe.
mornings. Yeah. So I think we are. I'm all. How do I feel about it? I'm very pleased. I know Singaporeans are getting the approach correct.
Yeah.
I think so.
We're getting more and more sophisticated
Yes.
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 in many ways, in all areas. I mean, as you said, we work really, really hard, but we also play hard. And now we recognize that work-life balance is so important as well. So, we're just trying to get it perfect,
Yeah.
And I
for
think
ourselves.
people know as well, you have to work hard to be able to play hard.
Yes.
Yeah. Whether it's going on holidays, dining out, buying what you want, getting a new car, whatever it is, you got to put the hours in
Yeah.
to be able to spend the money.
And I think Singapore is a fair place where if you put in your effort, you get the
You get the
results.
rewards.
You get the rewards out. Some countries it's very race based, or it's just not as meritocratic as Singapore. So no matter how much effort I put in, I'm still not going to get the results.
Promotion or
Promotions and
anything,
everything,
yeah.
Correct.
So I think that's why we built a pretty good system.
And now with the emphasis on being healthy and all that, people also recognize, like, okay, maybe let's not take everything on. You know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
Just a couple of those accidents still lingering on the SLE towards the CTE. An accident has been reported right before the TPE exit. Now, this is causing a backup to Upper Thomson Road's exit. Avoid lane 3. Also on the PIE heading east to the airport before Jalan Eunos, another accident causing congestion to Kallang Way. Avoid the rightmost lane. If you spot anything, our number is 8855
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guest for this morning is Adrian Chu from Korea Agility International. And we've been asking the question, why are we more Western these days than Asian in terms of, how we work?
styles.
Yeah, and if you notice that the Singaporean workers are more savvy, they're more career agile. And the big question is why, and I believe it's because they've been listening to Kiss 92 for the past 4 years. With all the career tips we've been giving out, especially on Thursday mornings. So I think Singapore as a whole. And it's interesting because I've bumped into quite a number of Kiss 92 listeners lately. And they're very loyal listeners. They tune in for you guys. They love you guys, okay? And they really feel a very deep personal bond And I think that's very rare to have DJs nowadays, radio hosts, to have that connection to people.
Yeah.
And people have a connection to them. So I think you guys are doing a wonderful job.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
just lovely.
No, I think thanks to
As you are.
to you and to Sito and to Nat and to Jerry. You guys have been with us for so many years.
Yeah.
Right? And so, people relate to you guys,
You're
as
like
well.
family.
So we're a big team.
Yeah.
All of us.
Nice. Yes.
We
Thanks
are.
to you guys as
Lovely.
well.
That's fine. So I like the fact that we have become more agile as a country. I'm glad with the fact that we are swinging to a Western viewpoint with regards to our work-life balance, to our motivations, but yet, like what Angel said, keeping our Asian values core close to us. I think that's a good mix. That's hard to beat. You have the work ethics of the Asian work ethics: work hard, play hard. The work hard part, and then you have the Western everything else. So
Mindset almost,
it's a great mix. That's why I'm very excited about it. And I think that has made Singapore more robust, more resilient as a whole. It's
Let me
wonderful.
ask you a question. My firm belief is we are Western because we had no choice.
Because of the British occupation
No,
or what?
Because that's how you become successful today. You deal with people in the West. Would Singapore be as successful as it is if we had remained totally Asian?
I don't know. To what
Because
degree
you look
of
at the
success?
global market, would we have been as successful?
I think, to be honest, I think it's because we don't have any resources.
Yeah, we have no natural resources
That's why
of
we
our
have.
own.
That's
yeah.
why we have to adopt,
Depend on
the West.
everyone, yeah.
So we have to be this robust, very independent. Got to get things done.
Yeah.
If we had I always wondered. I always joke with my friends. Those oil-producing countries, it's amazing. You basically got a spigot in the ground. It just
Yeah.
keeps pumping out millions of dollars
It's
a day.
like money
Yeah.
growing on trees, basically.
Literally,
Yeah.
What's the impetus for me as a country to drive hard when everything is just provided for, just from this mysterious hole in the ground that just keeps pumping money out? But we don't have that.
Well, can you imagine if we did have that?
Oh, wow.
Plus, we
We'd be-
have plus we have our brilliant leaders,
Yeah.
right?
Actually,
Who
I wonder.
who have enabled us to grow.
Well, I think it might not have happened even. Because if you
No,
have that tap on
yeah,
the ground,
it'll be
I don't
very
think the drive would be
different.
there. So
It'll be very different because we would be more complacent, I feel.
I don't
'Cause
think so.
No, it's very hard to go back and say, what if
Yeah.
this happened or what if we had this? Because you would not have this. It's just like saying, we had the conversation once, you were saying, what if your mom married this person or this person? It's like, you wouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
It's
It's
true.
true.
So you can't
True.
really go back and say, what if? But we could look into the future and say, what would happen if we had that spigot in the ground? Then how would we be?
That's
Okay.
interesting.
Right? So yeah, don't what if. Don't look in the back. Look forward.
I rather, because I think Singapore is just really, really special.
It is.
So
it is.
I really
Absolutely.
don't think we would have been complacent. I think we would have,
I don't think so.
just maximized our potential, even more. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Let's continue this conversation on the Big Show TV. It's Dean Lewis time right now. Be All Right on KISS 92.
I look up from the ground to see your side.
I like how we were all silent
Yeah,
there for
I
a
know.
while.
We're so quiet. We're like, where's the music?
No, because
It's like,
I was thinking.
But I'm telling you, because of the fact that we had Mr. Lee
Yes.
at
Yes.
that point, imagine if we had that.
I'm saying
And
things would have
Mr.
been
Lee.
very different. Things would have been very
No,
different.
I
though.
think if we had that and
Yeah.
Mr. Lee,
Yeah.
holy
No, yeah,
I
he's
know,
saying
I know.
saying that.
What a
Yes, exactly. But
combination.
Angel disagrees.
No, the reason I disagree is because you have that resource.
Yeah.
And so maybe, I'm not saying it would have happened, you wouldn't have had to work so hard to build relationships
I'm
with
in line
so
with-
many other countries
I'm in line
and
with her,
build
yeah.
the country to be so self-sustainable in that aspect. Do you know what I mean?
But you know how Mr. Lee
No,
is.
no, I know, but it's very hard to say what if. That's what I'm saying. But if we
You
had
are
it
saying
in the
what if.
future, no, you're saying what if it happened.
But
That's what you're saying.
you are kind of like writing it off.
I'm not writing
Just
it off.
say yes.
No,
We're
I-
talking about Mr. Lee
No, I
here.
don't have to agree with you.
What's interesting is like in Africa, there's actually a term for it. It's called the resource curse. You know, they're full of diamonds, they're full of minerals and everything, but they just get exploited by a few.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm just wondering.
And we being so tiny, we might have been exploited by a few as well because of the resource.
Yeah, correct. And
So basically, Angel is saying that, if we had that oil, we'll be like Brunei. That's what she's saying.
We may have been. I
We may
don't
have
know.
been.
We may have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just Angel. Adrian's here as well, agreeing with me.
But
So it's not about. It's not about who's winning.
Don't know whether it's good or bad because it's great for the country. I got friends in Brunei. They get free. They're tax free. They
Yeah.
get
But it's
free
boring
medical,
there, right?
It's boring.
Because it's a dry country
They
as
don't
well.
need to invite people along. They don't need to invite people to work there, to live there. That's why they don't have to improve.
It
the
doesn't have great
infrastructure.
living.
Anybody planning a trip to Brunei
situations. No,
for holiday?
it does not have a great living.
Let's go to the
situation.
exciting country of Brunei for all day.
Yeah, at least we can use our currency there. So
That's
so-
true.
Right.
This is true. Your money
Change
works
money,
there. Yeah.
So I think we are blessed. I mean, so far Singapore we've been blessed with all the right factors. The great people, the great economy, the human resources, especially.
Human resources.
The human resources. So I think because we've never had that huge tap in the ground spewing out oil or any other resources, we've all had to rely on our guts and our brains.
And work harder.
And work harder than
Yeah.
the next person. So I think that's why we are a bit more westernized in a way, and I think that's why we are a bit more. We are geared more for success in a way. There's no what MM Lee said. There's no one owes us a living.
Yeah, self-reliant. Yeah.
Very interesting. Matthew has come out and said Lee Kuan Yew was successful because he could rally people with surge mentality, not having any resources to depend on. Adversity drives people. Yeah. Interesting thought.
I like that, what Matthew said, because the US was the same thing as well. When they first started the colonies and everything, when they first colonized, yeah, it was basically what they call robust individuality. I think they're just on their own. That's why even today they're very independent. They're very. If you look at the game of like American football, it's basically one guy, the quarterback. He throws the ball and then the guy in front runs and just. So it's a very individual culture.
Individualistic,
So the quarterback is the superstar.
Yeah, he throws it. Then
Also the most prone to get injured as well.
Yeah.
you ram into him, right? So it's very individualized, and they're very independent. And, because when they first started the colonies, they had no one to depend on.
Do you think we're individualized or do you think we're community built?
I think the community built, but I think that we are still nonetheless very driven because of the situation that we were put into. So I'm glad it all turned out for the best. So we're good here. And I think, so the bigger question is this. Now that we know many Singaporeans feel that they have to be in charge of their careers and everything, then how are you going to manage it? What's your career strategy? How do you become more career agile? How do you make sure that you get you get to enjoy what we call career longevity?
Yeah. Sign up with Career Agility International.
Yes.
It's very important.
Info at careeragility.org.
As much as we giggle, it is really, really important though.
Yeah, and it's like the event we had earlier this year. We were just sharing all these things, and it's important because end of the day, we are responsible for our own careers, and it's so important.
True, very true.
We are. I don't know. In terms of what do you guys think? Singaporeans,
What?
do we work hard, play hard, or do we work too hard, or do we not play hard enough?
I think we work very hard. I'm not sure people play hard. I play.
Do you play hard?
I play hard in terms of my traveling.
Yeah,
Yes,
I know
play
you
hard.
vacation hard.
Yeah, I vacation hard.
you do play
So I work hard to play hard.
But
Yes.
this is a different stage of your life, right?
Yeah.
As well.
Oh my gosh.
When you were younger,
it
you
would have been
were-
party hard.
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
for
I know.
sure.
Glenn golfs hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
He golfs hard.
Yeah.
I golf hard and I drink hard as well. It's part of golf,
It's
right? It's a different kind of party,
both at the same
right?
time, right?
So
Yeah.
you party here or you party abroad. It's different.
Have you tried drunk golf before?
Oh, absolutely.
He's always.
Once.
I don't want to say anything.
Once, and after that, I told my friends, no, never again, because it can be very dangerous.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You can hurt
Oh, yeah.
yourself.
Actually, you're right. You could kill somebody.
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
no drunk golf for me. But there are many people who play drunk golf.
Really?
Yeah,
It's dangerous.
I mean, they play drunk golf or they play golf drunk?
they play golf drunk.
They play golf drunk. They don't purposely get drunk to play golf. They get drunk while playing.
While playing golf.
While playing golf.
Yeah, you can have fun, but I mean, Look, once you look at the ball and you see three
balls.
Time to stop.
Correct. Stop, please. Before you drive the buggy into the nearest lake.
It's time to take one of those foam pool noodles.
The noodles,
Use it
yeah,
as a club.
Yeah.
The noodles.
How about you, FD? Do you work hard, play hard?
Do you play hard?
I used to work hard, play hard.
No?
Now you work hard and sleep.
Yeah, what is the play part?
Yeah.
Work. I don't come to work.
Your play is work?
I don't come to work.
No, cannot. We all work. We all have to
I
work.
don't come to work.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
But you know what
Which
we mean.
means he's a workaholic. That's why he has nothing. He has no hobbies.
This is his
his
work and
hobby. This is his work.
This is my
This
life.
is his
This is his
everything.
play.
This is my life.
You know what I mean?
So I don't come to work. So
But this is actually your hustle. Your real work is your events. Actually.
Yeah.
but I have a team
You're-
that runs that.
Yeah, you're
I have a
a
team that
professional MC. I don't consider myself a professional MC. I'm a professional radio presenter. But for the longest time, that was your job.
Yeah,
you were an
yeah.
MC.
Yeah.
Radio
I would
was your part-time job.
I would say I've reached a place where, having worked and played hard, I'm comfortable where I am now. It's a little different because I think I'm older than they are.
But if you take that work away from you, then what are you left with? You know?
Time to do whatever I want.
Which is what?
Nothing.
Travel.
There you go.
That's your play hard.
yeah.
That's your play hard.
Yeah, so you should have
There are
said
a lot
that's
of-
your play
Yeah,
hard.
that's your play
But I
hard.
haven't done it
Because it
yet.
sounds damn sad, like,
No,
if you
but
say that, work is your play as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
No, but you see, it's
He still
what
wants
I-
to. We're
what
trying
I'm
to make
trying
him
to
look
say
good.
is-
Yeah, I know.
No, what I'm trying to say is your perception of it is different. The word work doesn't come into it.
No, for me as well. I mean, coming in here is I get
Yeah,
to come
exactly.
to the studio.
Correct.
It's not work for me. I don't, but it
Yeah.
still pays the bills.
Correct.
So that means I'm being paid to do this,
But
which
we-
still makes it work.
I'm,
You know
being,
what I mean?
I'm being paid to play.
But we still go and play other things, you know.
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly.
It's like,
Then-
but you have nothing
then
according
I
to
but
what
then,
you
okay.
have.
So what we're saying is you use the money that you get from your play. To use it on something else, which is your hobby play, your travel.
Granted,
you know what I mean?
Granted,
So that's
but
what
then
we mean.
I have relaxation in different ways.
Like what?
Family. My family is massive to me.
Yeah, of course. No,
very
that's
few.
great.
When I talk to my friends about my family, they don't understand
yeah,
it.
no, that's great.
How massive my family is.
So
to me.
that's his hobby as well. That's his play hard. So he spends his money on his family as well.
Yeah.
So that is his play.
But to me, playing doesn't mean I have to spend my money.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
This is
All right,
not
okay, yeah.
we can't win
It's-
this argument.
you
Okay.
can't
Vomit
win this
blood.
argument.
Talking to the Flying Dutchman sometimes, you just vomit bloody blood.
Oh my goodness! I need a drink for this.
Yeah,
You
boy.
need a drink after talking to me. Yeah.
Someone pass me my pal, mezcal. I need a couple of shots of mezcal right now.
Should just have a bottle like that.
Oh my god.
When you ask me questions, keep a bottle of mezcal with you.
It was so much easier to talk to him when we first started working together 23 years ago.
Okay.
How about taking up yoga soon or something?
No.
Pilates or Tai Chi or
Pilates.
something.
No.
Tai Chi might be good.
Tai Chi, man.
Tai Chi, yeah?
Yeah,
Tai Chi, I
might be
might.
good.
I've been thinking about
Yeah.
that.
Then when we ask you the next time, so what else? What do you do outside of work? You can say, yes, I Tai Chi.
Yeah, of course.
Matthew understands
Then he'll
it.
say he's Tai Chi
Tai-Chi
work to
everything.
people.
No, Matthew understands it. He says FD is in a totally contented place. He understands it.
Okay, we're going back on it. Gwen Stefani with Wind It Up right here on Kiss 92. All the great songs in one place. Very timely because we do have to wind things up right now because we're expecting Sarah Fox to walk into the studio very, very soon. She is the Vice President and Regional General Manager for Disney Cruise Line.
That's going to be very exciting. It's coming next year, but we won't tell you too much because she'll tell you everything about it.
I'm sure it's quite exciting also for you, right? I mean, to
Yeah.
hear about this Disney Cruise Line that's coming to town in 2025.
It is exciting. I think it's fun. The cruise industry is it's growing as well. So I think there's more employment for Singaporeans, and I know that Disney is hiring quite aggressively as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's good to listen in, tune in.
They have room for 2,500 staff
And
on board this
6,700
cruise.
guests.
Oh
Can you
my
imagine?
goodness.
Crazy.
6,700 guests.
6,000 of which will be kids.
Pretty close.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe not.
yeah,
Maybe not.
yeah,
No, you may be right. You may be right.
I can safely say that it's no Mickey Mouse operation. It's a big one. It's a big serious.
So what we're
operation.
going to do is we're going to wrap this TV session up, and then
Yeah.
we're going to come back at about 9 o'clock with Sarah Fox. So that's
Yeah.
what we're going to do.
So don't tune out, okay? Just
Don't
keep
go
on watching
anywhere.
the Big
Don't
Show
go-
TV. All right, Adrian, before we let you go, anything else you'd like to say?
Well, for all our listeners out there, have a great weekend ahead, and spend time like what FD says. Spending time with his family is his top priority, and the thing he enjoys most. Figure out what you enjoy most and go and do it.
All right. Thank you very much, Adrian, for joining us.
Always a pleasure. Bye, guys.
Wake up feeling good. The Big Show.
In the